All right, everybody. What's everybody's favorite color of ink specifically to write in? Just fun questions. All right, everybody. This is Lockstitch, Renascence, episode 8. This is also the vault game for Vatna, and just like we are going to start as Got to thank Patagon for taking. He replaced Tobias, who was supposed to be in this game but couldn't make it. So, we are going to start off in the mountains around Obsession in the Bleeding Mountains. But first, I will introduce our players as they tell me how well they're doing climbing over this mountain. So we've got Vatna, played by Lurid.
Hello, and brown is my ink of choice.
How's Vatna doing on the climb?
I think he's fine. If anything else, he's probably doing better than others since he can fly and probably scope out the next best steps for everyone.
Makes perfect sense. And next we got Administrator Wicklaw, played by Rico Warlord.
Every time.
I said them both?
Yep. How's it going, everybody? I like using black ink. And as far as this climb, Isaac's doing better than expected.
And so we've got Iskra, played by Molly.
Hello, I am using green ink. Iskra on this climb, even though it is not the forest, still feels natural.
Love it. And finally, Patagon, played by Sept. You were sent out here, to interview the locals, is all that it said from Peanut. And I don't know who your manager's name is, but we've got to name that character because I feel like they're going to keep coming up.
Yeah, so ink, I guess blue is most items.
Discord doesn't want him to be great.
It was all working for the last half an hour. Okay. So ink, yes, blue. Manager name to be determined, and then climbing. Yeah, we're going to be talking to said manager. I was here to interview people. Why am I climbing up a mountain?
Which mountain is this?
This is, yeah, let me move us back over here real quick. You are at the edge of, the Obsession Mountains. Like, as you guys have been climbing across them, and now Isaac, Vatna, Iskra, your letters from Peanut, which are all significantly different than Patagon's, whereas Patagon's was just hey, go there, we've got a sick interview set up for you, it's just it's gonna be amazing, you guys gotta get out there now, I wish I could be there. It's just it's XOXO, this is gonna make us all super famous.
And this tells us nothing.
Oh, but then Vatna, your letter just says, it's hello, Officer Vatna and fellows. I hope that you have collected both Isaac and Iskra. It's just we have a moving target on our hands. It's just no doubt that you have felt it, the pull of intense magical energies. The folks of Folksong and Yoke have made it, have brought it to our attention that we should be heading to Obsession. There are things waking up there that should be kept an eye on. And then it's just like wink, wink for your future project. And then it just says, P.S. I'm talking about those those brass roots / pipes going through the bottom of the underneath the ground of the Echo. And then it just says, Peanut.
Did anyone else get similar letters? Or is it just me?
Isaac's definitely has a drawing of Isaac as a goose on the bottom of it.
Hey, it even got the nose right.
Is Peanut avoiding Iskra?
Absolutely not, Iskra. We actually saw him in one of the last dream games that we were playing after Soki had gone in and did not change completely people's dreams, just set them a little bit more correctly. So Peanut never died. Like, he died at first, but then the dream changed that you actually cured him. You did not kill him.
Okay.
Like, that was one of the things they went out of their way to fix in the dreams. Both Soki and Osiria were doing
Thanks, team.
that. It was
We
adorable.
have a tower outpost out here. Do we have any information from that on our target?
Oh yeah, go ahead and roll me 220 siders. Take the higher.
It's 3 and 11.
Oh. Can you name a 311 song? I'll make it a 20.
Oh man.
You got 10 seconds.
No, despite stealing my brother's 311 CD back when I was a child, I don't know any of their songs.
That's funny because like the background is kind of an amber color, some might say. There's a chance that you might go down. Alright, so anyway, but yeah, 11 is a perfectly fine number. All right, so in these mountains, Vatna, like, the Ku Claw is supposed to be here. No, but none of us have actually met him. You have done a little aid for him in the past. Well, albeit he was asleep.
I was in him.
I'm actually like, if somebody is in my mouth, are they inside me? Do you think that counts? Okay.
It counts.
Huh. So when I put a Q-tip in my ear, it's inside. All right.
It is in.
Yep. It's all right. I hate that. I hate this now.
Yeah. Just don't think about it.
But yes, there are two major energy sources out here. There is one that is roughly in a serpent shape, and it is pulsating, but also each pulse it fades a little bit. And there is a second one that is more liquid and has been going south into the Bleeding Mountains.
We have to focus on one right now. I'd say the liquid one might be easier to trace because it probably just flow downhill. So if we get to the highest point, we can see where the flow path would.
Absolutely, like, that works for me.
So Patagon, we're supposed to meet someone up there?
In my notes says I'm here to interview someone. It doesn't actually say who. So I'm hoping there's someone at the top of this mountain.
I am
Near there.
completely down with this idea.
I think its name would be Tim.
Could be.
I feel like a Tim would live out here.
Tim of the Tin Mountains or something, maybe? I don't know.
So yeah, so Iskra and Isaac, how would you two be studying the area? Vatna has like linked into a nearby radio tower and kind of like did the scan of the area. But what would you two be focusing your studies on? To remind everybody where we are, like the world, the echo is waking up. Old things are coming back, new things are being created. This seems to be happening in part because of you guys turning the moon back on and ending the corruption so that the moon can do what it was meant to do in the first place, which was help magic across the echo. Or at least seems to be. And then this root system seems to be moving magic, raw, liquid magic through underneath the echo's crust onto different sides. Now, sometimes this is dangerous because some of these pipes have been turned off, and it does appear to be they have been turned off on purpose. And some people have found the levers and turned them back on, such as the folks at Folksong want their magic full bore, and they're not concerned about the fact that all of the other sides aren't on, so it's not going to be fair and like balanced. They're going to be getting a scary amount, and Folksong's just like, yeah, let's do it. And you guys are in Folksong right now. You're on the edge of Folksong and Terfrades, but you are technically in Folksong.
Cool.
Iskra
Go ahead.
would be studying the magic and spirit energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Spirit energy for sure. Do you want Nika to roll for you? You get 2d20.
Yes, please.
Oof! Man! Yeah. Okay. I think this is, again, of no fault of Iskra's. Like, you feel an immense amount of spirit energy or just raw magic. It is raw in the way that the wisps in the Sterling Thicket are. It is not a sentient thing. It is not a living creature. It has no mind, but it has power. And you start to feel rumbling underneath you as it is beginning to... Yeah, some of these mountains are erupting. Even in the obsidian, not in the Bleeding Mountains, the caps are starting to explode, and you just see raw magic running down these mountains. And like raw magic, not actually lava, but for all intents and purposes, yes.
So just gotta wait for it to cool off before I lick it. Got it.
Oh. Stop licking things.
No, stop speaking. Stop writing. That's what you're asking me to do, is stop speaking my native language.
Rude.
Can everybody else feel the rumble, or is the rumble like... Okay.
You feel the rumble first, but then but also because you are seeing it. Which mountains are gonna pop? Like, is it the one that you're on, or just ones around you?
I would say around, like off in the distance, but like we could walk to them. like not too far off in the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah. Sorry. What are we doing with that information? Is it? Or do we want
I
to
have
just
no
move on?
idea yet.
That's perfectly fine. Isaac?
I was going to. I would say that I'd use track. See if I could find any tracks that might lead to whoever we're supposed to meet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Give me 2d20.
That was one. Hold on.
You got that. So yeah, you see giant claw marks in these mountains. Claw marks that you missed them initially because it seemed like they were too big to be formed by anything alive. And then on the ground, you can see there is scrapes in that as well. All along the obsidian, there has been a channel carved in it, as though there was a struggle, but because Iskra is here, you guys could put together the fact it's more like when a creature is shedding.
Are the mountains that I was in with Rennick, and it turned out to be a dragon, is this a similar situation?
I think yes and no. I think you start to find that all of these mountains are just shed skin. This is like, once you know what you're looking for, you can see the fact that these mountains are just scales of obsidian. But more, what if magic was obsidian, not what if magic made obsidian, not what if magma made obsidian.
Are we able to collect samples?
For sure, we have some of this.
Okay.
It is a locally available resource.
Okay.
I think Vanna's just been eating some like chips.
Alright. Who wants to climb the fucking mountain though?
I do.
Alright. So Vatna, I feel this is gonna be like a group roll situation. You can roll, and everybody else can roll. All we need is one success, and we can take somebody else's success. But you are leading this expedition.
Sure.
Okay.
That was a 4.
Alright, so start us off. What's going wrong?
Ground shakes, rocks fall.
Okay, so there's more eruptions as we're climbing. Alright, yeah.
I think the initial path I had scoped out is blocked.
Alright. Who's helping us get past this? There's a blocked by like hot magic just running through.
Yeah. It's not ready yet. Can't eat my way through this one.
I could summon Little Bird and try to get more aerial view and see if there's an alternate pathway nearby.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 2d20.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just a straight 20. Alright. So Patagon, you see, with your 20, you see two things: the perfect path to follow, and also you see who you're supposed to be interviewing at the top of this mountain.
Okay. Well, looks like I do have an alternate path, and we can, and our interview target is at the top of the mountain. So, yeah. So I'll start kind of like mapping out the route and see if we can get there.
All right. Iskra or Isaac, whichever one of you two want to help, like, get finish this climb, you can take an automatic 2d20, and you can add another d20 if you think you have a good like reason to have more climbing. But because the Patagon showed you guys the perfect path, like, you guys can just like find your way out of here.
I'm just gonna take the 2d20. I can't think of anything that would give me an extra.
Yeah, for sure. Give me 2d20. A 12 gets us there. Like, it was a haggling climb. You guys weren't expecting the eruptions. And then you make it to the top of this hill and are greeted with an absolutely giant creature. It's like, oop, wrong token.
Look over and see the kaiju.
It's like, yeah, there it is. That is the creature known as the Kuklaw. Like, a massive obsidian behemoth. Huge, sharp teeth. I know they're white here, but I don't actually picture them white. I picture them also obsidian.
Is this the creature that I think it was also with Rennick, that we went into its mouth and then froze one of the mite things and then attached rockets to it? To the
Sure
tooth?
is.
Yep.
Sure is this
Okay,
one.
great.
We moved the rotted tooth. And look at that smile. It's so pretty now.
Then you hear just like, thank you. It's like, personally, I was gonna throw it away, but I mean, if you like it. And you guys see a bunch of like, there are a ton of fairies in this thing's mouth.
Ah. They found new real estate.
It's like, yes, they're gonna make a home in there. Hello, I take it you must be Patagon.
I am, and you are the magnificent Kukla?
Yes, I am the Kukla. Yep, and we are ready. It's like, and he's like, powders his face a little bit. It's like, I'm ready to be interviewed.
All right. Well, everyone, live and direct from the Obsession Mountains, we have the one and only Kukla, who has just woken up from a very long nap. So, how long were you out, and what's changed since, since you started your nap?
It's like, firstly, it's like, absolute pleasure to be on your show, Patagon. Absolute, just huge fan. But I have been asleep since the moon stopped spinning. Since magic was cruelly cut from this world.
Ah, all right.
And as far as what has changed, it's many things. It's just like, look at your party. Look at your group back there. I haven't seen a Corinne out of their forest in, well, over a millennia. And she's like, and you have a moth that consumes reality. Look at him. You put him in clothes.
Hi.
This is some unhinged behavior.
Yeah, Vatna is very much one for high fashion, so praise coming from someone as
You
wise
named
as.
it. You named it.
I mean, it is a strong word.
I'm incredibly sorry. You named them.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, so
So it's like a full person?
the one and only, to my knowledge.
Oh, all right. Like, shifty eyes, shifty eyes. All right.
So we heard that you're missing a tooth. So any guesses where it might have ended up?
I have. And she's like, I understand. It's just like, he points to the mouth. They must not have made you aware that I was going to be in this. And it like motions to its body. This one, no extra feet like the old Ku Klux was. This is like, you see all along the back of the other thing. It has molted out of that as like a husk. It looks like a cicada, like, with this is what burst out of it. It's like I have no need for teeth anymore now that I can take my true form. But I did hear that some of you, this is like, did play dentist. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep derailing us, but was the moth one of them that went into my mouth?
Possibly, if I recall the report correctly.
Mm, yes, it was myself, Vatna. I'm gonna say it wrong. Kui Ki, K, Kai,
Wait,
Qui.
and believe Rennick, because Rennick has the rockets, right?
yeah, Rennick does have the rockets. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely, yes. The crew played dentist with, huh? Yeah, sorry. Next question. I'm sorry.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's quite all right. So now that you've shed, I guess, your physical form, what would your priority be?
Oh, exploration. I've been locked into this, and it, like, does not have hands, but you definitely all get like some kind of illusionary like wave of a hand at this creature, at the shell. It's just like, I've been trapped here forever. Apparently grew a cult? That's interesting to know.
Quite the cult.
Yeah, it was worshipped by a bunch of vampires. Kind of trippy. Like, I love the sunlight.
Well, they might be a little disappointed, but I think the rest of us will be intrigued by what you do next.
It's like, any recommendations of places to go?
That's a good one. I mean, you're close to folk song. They always love a great show over there. So I mean, if you want an audience, you probably find one there.
It's like, I would, maybe I will. I'll just pop on into Yoke and see what's going on there. But and then he looks at the rest of you. It's just like, oh, I don't mean to cut the interview off early, but you all seem like you have a lot of devices for measuring and. What's all this here? Are we on an adventure?
Sleuthing silver.
Yeah, I'd say Vatna knows better than I. I was just here to interview you, apparently. So I'm along for the ride.
And the let me be clear, this thing is huge. But he's also incredibly interested in what you guys might be doing.
During the interview, could I have been using ethereal quilting to perhaps make a quilt to trade with this fine fellow?
Oh yeah, roll me a 20-setter. Yeah, what information are you interested in knowing?
Well, I say, well, you just woke up. There's anything different about the area. There appears to be something growing here.
Oh, that's just the waste pipe. It's just like, it's not actually a living root. But I can show it to you.
I think Fine will hop on. Of course.
Oh, do we all want to hop onto it? Like it will literally give you a ride there, so you don't have to climb.
Are we leaving the fairies behind?
You can talk to them if we want to, for sure. They're inside the old mouth. But yeah, let me get a couple tokens.
Well, I mean, I don't know how necessary it is at the moment. I don't necessarily need them to know that I have golden vampire teeth now.
They are just an unsettling bunch of creatures.
Don't you have to give them to them when you die?
Yes. Yes. I did agree to give them my teeth when I die. So as long as, like, just making sure that we don't need to cover any piece of that before we just take a ride.
It's just like they just look out of their homes in its mouth, just like look at you. It's just like, alive?
Alive.
All right. Carry on. I'm gonna get those teeth. I'm telling you. It's just like, she thinks she can wait us out? Not a chance. Like, I had a grandfather that lived for 15 years. She'll be long dead by then. It's like my life expectancy, crazy. Hers? What is it? How long can Corinne's possibly live? A week? 2?
A few more days.
Yeah, keep holding out a week or 2.
I think I've slung it around the Kuklaw's neck to kind of act like a bridle.
You could try that, but that is gonna be a roll. Like, it is not gonna like that one.
Not a bridle, but like a handkerchief that I can hold on to.
I think it's a perfectly fine to Falcor it, not to but not to like imply ownership.
Okay. Then how about a bow? Just to attach it in some way.
Yeah, that's fine. You all see it lands you down right next to a large root that is, this one is more, polished, I want to say, than the others that we have seen. It is a very like symmetrical shape, very well intentioned. Definitely the same materials, which it looks like it is brass and on the edge of an organic look. It is pouring some raw magic directly out of the tunnel and into this pool right here. It seems to be doing it at a controlled amount, but it is constant.
Is this more like the raw magic from the mountains or the weir pipes?
The weir pipes. But it is. You have every reason to believe that all of those springs are this. Like, maybe you did not see where those pipes were, probably because they're underwater, but this. Yep.
By springs, you mean the ones like the multicolored ones?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The ones on the world map.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh, wrong one. Like these guys.
Yeah, these guys.
Yep. They
Well,
feel
first off-
magical in very much a very similar way. This is probably a lot stronger, as this appears to be just like pure undiluted magic.
Check for sharks and take a sip.
Yeah, you can take a sip of it, absolutely. It's just gonna be it would recover 2 AP if you had spent any.
I spent one so far, so cool.
The Kukla looks at you. He's just like, well, not unexpected that you could be able to consume it. You might want to consider. You know what? You live your best life. But here we
Tastes
are. Go ahead.
muddled. What is this stuff?
It is the runoff. It is not fit to return to the weir yet. It will stay here in the Bleeding Mountains. We will keep it safe. Contained.
How long until it is ready?
He shrugs. This is like when it's ready. But until then, we will store
Are
it.
you
Oh, continue. Yes.
are you considering yourself the guardian?
We do watch over the spot. There's a couple of us. Really big guy, lumbering guy. The Burning Man, they call him. He is also a guardian of this. It's going to be quite the show.
What do you mean
Oh.
show?
No.
Once everything wakes up. It's just like this.
What do you mean show?
My friends would... no harm. Well, growing pains. If only you had seen what Sonnery was before. Have you been to Glomecrest? It's like,
Maybe once.
it's so...
I never
Much-
was able to get a ticket.
Right? Tickets. It's like, I am an incredible being. I know. I have no illusions that of how great I am. I'm amazing. You all know it. Look at me. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And just like still a pillar of humility. And that said, there are things much bigger than me waking up. It's like I'm so excited.
More magical.
Magical and like you again you guys just see floating fingers come up and just do the air quotes. Is a way that we have explained it. That could be explained, that could be studied.
More spiritual.
Spiritual is also a great way to phrase it. It's like, I
More
think
powerful.
everything. Some things will grow more powerful, but the more powerful will also wake up.
So, will bigger and bigger things start waking up until Echo itself awakens into its ultimate form?
The Echo will, the Echo Awaken will be an incredibly interesting thing. It's just like,
Has it awoken before? Where's the best place to watch?
the Echo was awake until 1,000 years ago. Or so. Like, and then it went to sleep. The Weir did as best it could. It's just like, and where's the best to watch? It depends on which side you want to see change.
What makes the Weir thrive?
The Weir is merely a machine.
But to maintain a machine's functionality, from my friends, from what I've learned of my friends Flynn and Leo, there must be a best way to maintain it.
Oh, you're asking for someone else's secrets.
I'm asking for secrets unknown. I don't know whose they are.
Like, he just like looks at you and he's just like, find them.
I don't say anything more, but I look towards and into the pipe where all this is coming out, as if
Yeah, there's a
thinking that might be a first step.
yeah, there's a door like right next to the pipe for like a maintenance hatch is the best way I would phrase it.
Glance to everyone.
Hold on. Before we start exploring doors, I need to ask a question. You said the best place to watch would be from the side that we want to see change. Are you implying that despite all of these things waking up, that wherever we are is where things will change? And who is we? Like
Oh
Lockstitch the
no.
crew?
Like they're all gonna change at the same time. They'll all it'll all happen at the same time.
So it's just like, which one do you want to see change?
Which would you want to watch?
Okay.
Right? And like I personally like the way that I'm pitching it is like into our map creator and stuff, like adding little things to each side, like finally finishing, like asking to get the dyad stuff done, like minute changes to other places, like Tirloa and the Neverglades. The Sickened Sea doesn't have to be sickened anymore. So like that is a change that we would see. And yeah, adding certain tokens to maps for like the survey mission things that we've got, like all of those things. But you will be able to watch them change if it is something that is waking up on that side.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the amount of it. And like, yeah, the Echo can not fully change. Like the maps are already made, and like I love all the maps and I don't want to change them. But little things on each side, like folk song being significantly more magical already is fun. Sonnery being more sonnery, like even less like tied into like the real world and significantly more just horror all the time.
Question: if we were like,
Okay.
if we like look to the east, could we see the beach resort? I'm looking at the world map right now. That just kind of looks like where we are.
I mean, maybe. I mean, there's a chance.
I think
I
if
actually,
we were higher up, like on top of one of the
Yeah.
mountains.
yeah, you guys aren't high up anymore. You are now down in a canyon.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's all coming together now.
So I have an interesting question that I just thought about now.
For sure.
The spark of magic in Isaac's pin. How different is it from the magic that's pooling in front of us?
I think pretty close. This is probably more diluted. Like you would need a more concentrated version of it to write anything with the pen. But you know what, Isaac? Go ahead and give me 220 siders if you want to test it.
Fucking let's go.
Yeah, all right. You get it in there, and it's like you fill your pen up with it, and so everybody else, the texture of it, the viscosity of it is wide ranging. It is very like non-Newtonian. Like if you guys like try to like poke it real fast, it might become a solid for you, or like it's kind of like loose jello sometimes. Just like as Vatna was like taking a sip of it, it was basically like spring water, like so incredibly drinkable to Vatna for while I was drinking it. So it's just like that doesn't make any sense. And then as soon as like Isaac has his like fountain pen in it and just does a little suck up thing, it's just like it is solid enough. It is ink. In this pen, it has purpose. Its purpose is to be ink for this pen.
Neat.
Fun to know. And this is how baby spirits are born.
It's like kind of. Well, I mean, not this, but
I mean, that does bring up a good point, though. Like, can I sense if there are any spirits hanging around this pool?
I'll just like I'd give that one to you for free. Like there are none that are what you would call sentient. There are none that are
Oh, okay, so same thing.
Yep, this is all just raw, even more so down here. Like even
But it's not
last.
attracting. It's not attracting any spirits.
Nope, not attracting any spirits.
Okay.
There's just like this is like inert.
Okay.
If I have to understand spirits to this point, there needs to be some actionable or perhaps inactionable purpose behind magic for spirits to actually align themselves with what it is you're trying to do. Because I
Purpose
know
does
there are,
have. Oh, go ahead.
no, I said because I know there are rock spirits that just sit there.
It's like rock spirits are hilarious. They are such kidders.
They know all the best stories, don't they?
Well, it's really just that one, but they tell it really well.
It's a timeless story.
You could say the story is rock solid. I'm not sorry.
Could you remind me what else Peter's letter included? Was to find this one and something else?
Check the vibes of the area.
Check the vibes of the area. Well, need to do a thorough check, so I want to try and open the maintenance hatch. See if there are any vibes inside.
Like, you see the cook like look over at you. It's just like, that should be locked. And all of a sudden, like you all see a key appear above Vatna, and then the door opens. And no matter how far you all were away from that door, it's just like you see a blast of light that is completely different. Like the sky is orange in this area, like at a constant sunset right now. And then you are hearing seagulls, and you are sitting in front of the city of Port Barter. Port Barter is right here, by the way.
It sure is.
You
Wait a
guys
minute.
were just dropped off of the boat and off of the sub. It is leaving to start delivering goods all around the liminal plane because we know transportation is dangerous. It's up to you. Like you guys were given your mission. I'm sure you all remember your mission just fine.
Brain check, brain check. Depends if this is... Yes, we need to check the swamps. The swamps. The swamps.
Swamps indeed.
Iskra, your character would have absolutely no idea, so it's fine for you to be confused right now. This is the third game that we played. We have been transported into the liminal vault, which just holds stories.
Okay.
And inside the liminal vault,
Okay.
we relive games that we played on the liminal plane. The beats are the same as those games. You guys do get to there will be at least one magical item reward for you each to play for playing this game, but it will be tied to things that happened back in time. We're doing a metaverse, everybody.
First thing
Can
we
I
need to do.
take notes?
Absolutely, you can take notes. All your characters
No,
are
I mean,
here.
no,
Okay.
no, no. I mean, I have. You said swamp, and now I'm going back through my notes to find the swamp notes.
Absolutely. You know what? Fuck it. Give me 2d20, Iskra. Oh wait, I'll do it for you. Nika's in the bathroom.
But I have them in front of me.
You do, but I
Go
just want to
ahead.
see just how good they are.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Don't. You know what? You know you were right. I rolled a 1, and I don't feel good about rolling for you guys ever, because it just feels gross.
Well, I mean, I can tell. I mean, what I have written down might just qualify as like
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
1 for the swamp game that I played in. It's not much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I
What
mean, I
notes do you
wrote
have from that one?
down. Okay, Fair Village, normal horse bones and roots and part of the forest, death moving, swamp, green wisps, Baba Yaga swamp witch, and the Corinne prophet.
That's like
That's it.
you pull out those notes. How? Because Tobias would have been a character that actually, like, if he could have made this game, he would have been the character that was actually in that game as this character. Lurid played that game, but Lurid did not play that game as Vatna.
It was Sama.
Neither Isaac or Patagon would have been in that game, but they would have been part of the crew when the game happened.
Right.
Who was the small critter that stole from the swamp witch? And I told them not to, because is that going to come back to bite us in the ass? But I didn't write that down in my notes.
No, this is a completely different swamp, but the idea of like using the one
Okay.
as Iskra just being prepared for
Oh,
the wrong
yeah.
swamp is very fun.
The wrong swamp. Yeah, that tracks absolutely. I just give the crew wrong information all the time, but out of pure confidence.
It's like, no, I've been to a swamp before. All swamps include a Baba Yaga. You know what? I think, honestly, I think that's what you did. I think this swamp includes a Baba Yaga.
Excellent.
Well, I think the first thing we should do is get Isaac to the library and leave him there.
Wow.
That's up to the administrator, but
Oh, that's not what you want? Sorry, what did you want?
I mean, I'm trying.
I mean, this is a limited edition library we're talking about.
I mean, can't hurt to stop by and get information. I mean, that's.
I'm mad because Vatna pressed the library button and it always works.
Let us walk through the streets of Port Barter. Now, Port Barter, everyone, in case we have forgotten, is home of the Spindle. This guy's like hiding up here.
Yeah,
Spindle are masked people that sometimes you'll see whenever you see the lower half of their face, they have their mouths sewn shut. They are incredibly superstitious people. They range anywhere from about 6 feet anywhere to up to 9 feet tall. And the amount of arms they have varies, and the sides of their body that has arms vary. They can have as many as 7 arms, and they can have as many as 6 on one side. But some of them have weight that would be coming out of your chest or directly out of your back. They're littered with arms, but they always at least have 2. And they are merchants by trade and love. They love it. Yes. Patagon situation again.
I just think, talking to everyone as we're walking. Now, before anyone says anything, I was minding my own business. And then the door opened.
Oh
And
shit!
as one
Sorry. It's gotta feel so bizarre for you guys because you were completely somewhere else, and then you like are here, and in your head you each have a mission, and this is where you were. But if you stop and think about it, you remember this is not where you've been. You know?
Yeah, but, I mean,
Right. I wasn't alive. No, I
Oh.
was alive.
I was gonna say, I
Just-
think this was post egg.
Yeah. Post hatch. Pre grow up.
Yeah.
Being alive is strange.
Very.
Mood. So we're in
Mood.
Port Barter, and we need to find the swamp. I'm just a little bit dazed at the moment.
Where were you when all this happened?
I mean, I was in the communications in the sub that just left, so
Sub is just like going away. Like, hold on. I've got it on this screen. You guys all like down the street. Sub's just like taking off. Couple minutes later, you just hear an explosion.
Ah, yes, right on cue.
all right, it was that.
That was. God, that was that game.
Hi, Nicole. He can't hear me.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's where Patagon. I'm like 95% confident.
So that checks out as where I would have assumed Patagon was.
So that would make sense why he's in a little bit of a daze, because he's like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Well, maybe we can use dream logic for this one.
But I believe maybe starting at the library couldn't hurt to get our bearings, unless someone has better.
We could read about the Baba Yaga.
You are being led currently, and I think you guys finally realize that that person like talking to you isn't trying to like hawk their wares to you. They're just trying to like welcome to Port Barter. This is Chrysanthemum. I finally figured out who I named that first. It was this guy, and then all of the other spindle are supposed to be named after flowers. And he's just like, it's like, all right, like, library it is then. It's just like, you guys know, like, I've been talking to you for like 15 minutes straight now.
Chrysanthemum, right.
Yeah,
we're
I introduced myself to you 15 minutes ago. Congratulations.
Yes, we are the bleep.
It's like, yes, you're the Lockstitch crew. You are here to help us with our growing fairy problem out of the woods. You said that you have detected a rift in the center of our swamp. Are you okay? Do you need this medical facilities, anyone? Are you land sick?
The city has a lot to take in.
Yeah,
It's the finest city on the liminal plane.
Understand that.
We are the richest city around.
understand that some of us are here for the first time, so it can be a lot to take in at first glance.
Understandable. It's just like, welcome to this serene, picturesque city, motioning to all of the food stalls of this open air market, and he's just like, as you can see, we are the center of trade. And once travel throughout the liminal plane gets back up to the amount that we are comfortable with, once you all save us from these air quote rifts. Chrysanthemum has 3 arms, 1 out of his chest and 2 out of where shoulders normally would be. But he does air quotes with all 3 of them. It's just like, these rifts, as you call them. Once you've dealt with those, we can get back to some real honest to goodness trading.
I was born in a rift.
There, the young one. Pat. Fairy tales can't hurt you.
Fairies can.
It's like, not if you keep your mouth.
I'm pretty sure we have experience with many fairy tales and could tell you stories of the opposite.
It's like, Chrysanthemum looks like back at up and down all 4 of you. It's just like, It's like, are you sure you're up to the task?
Absolutely. Rifts are our specialty. Is the foundation of our academy.
Excellent. Well, let's get you to the library so you can do some of your research. I forgot. He says library very quietly. The library is underground. It is in a basement. They have information, they just don't tend to share it. It's like, welcome to the library. It's like, it's very easy to figure out. He points out all of the sections like history, folklore. This is all business. Most of it is business. The majority of the library is somewhere between how to please people and make friends, like self-help books, and like the game theory, and the rest of it is and the rest of that section is business.
Business.
But there is a
Business.
section for folklore and like geography and other things, history.
Should probably pull down something about history, seeing as how the Kukla was talking about old times and 1,000 years ago.
Okay, yeah, all right. So go ahead and this is 220.
Roll me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nika's got you. Nika apologizes. Oh my god!
Are you kidding me? Sorry.
Guys,
Nika's.
my rolls have been so bad. Guys, I killed Pina.
You did! Nobody can actually outroll you. You did roll 2 1s in the same roll. Okay. Alright. So 1,000 years ago for Port Barter. Or like, what is the history of Port Barter?
We're still treating ones as untouchable no matter what.
Yeah. And
Alright.
like there are very specific cards that can do it, but they call it out.
This one just says with any roll, just me.
What's the roll? What's the card?
Oh, it's an ability.
Oh yeah, like yeah, ones are still untouchable for abilities. All right, so Port Barter's like, and we come back to you. I gotta have to think on this one for a second. All right. So the other three, do you guys want to grab a book from a section and give me a roll? It's 2d20 because you remember this library was here.
Yeah, I want to try folklore. Do I need to specify a topic or?
No, well, just the. Right, absolutely. So, folklore in this section states that it is widely believed that the not widely believed. It is a mixed belief of what the fairies do with the teeth once they have collected them. Like some people believe that they feed the teeth to a mighty tree that is growing into a gateway to another world. Others believe that they give it to the witch to make her soup. Both theories are ridiculous and need to be. People need to stop reading these books. It says in parentheses written in a different hand. It's just this book is only kept here for historical value. There is no purpose in believing in fairy stories.
I just kind of glance over at Chrysanthemum, wondering if they're the ones who added that note.
Is it just slowly whistling? Alright. Isaac or Patagon?
I'm also like a book from the folklore section. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Isaac, you pick up a book that's just this one's old and dusty. And as you open it up, the very first. Hold on one second. The first page of the book is just this.
Oh.
And
it just says, the Jotun. Just legendary figure. Just what some people looked up to the sky and said that they saw. It's a ridiculous belief. A moon with a face. And it's just legends have it that on the years that it approached the world, it was much colder. And if it would ever strike, it would level a city and freeze it over at the same time.
Just reading over Isaac's shoulder and say, now that's a confusing existence.
Yeah.
In a month or two, the Jotun will be written out of existence, out of reality. But right now,
it's
the
around.
Jotun's still there.
And it's a problem. Well, I asked Chrysanthemum, what's your favorite book here?
No, I couldn't be bothered to read. Gross. My talents lie in numbers, not letters.
What's your favorite number?
More.
More than...
I like it when the number goes up. I'm less attached to what the number is, just the act of it going up.
Patagon's gonna try to find a book on like fungus if he can, just out of a sense of remembering something that he might have forgotten.
Somebody-
What was the book type you were going after?
It's like fungus or plant life or
Oh
something.
yeah, all right, absolutely. I'll look into what the mushrooms on. All right. Roll me 2d20. Okay. Let's get weird.
Well,
All right.
That 5 is a 15.
All right. Pondered the orb. So Patagon found a book that showed you guys pictures of local mushrooms. We've got three local mushrooms out there. Like, they are each labeled incredibly wrong. But you guys are able to parse it, like which one goes to which. What do these three mushrooms do, Patagon? Like, if we found them and ate them, what would the buff be, or like what use do they have for not even?
yeah,
like- Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say at least one of them would probably be like our AP shot. Just almost like similar to the magic battery that we just found in the depths of Dendroid, maybe, but more naturally occurring in the swamp area.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good thing to if we bring it back situation.
Anybody has any other good ideas? Go for it.
Iskra, are you in any books?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
I mean that's a good question. I mean, the Corinne are very secretive people, and we don't venture out of the forest much. So I don't know how much information you would find on Corinne in general. But part of my notes, where I just rolled a 1, was the Corinne prophet. So it's something that we could look for. I just don't know if it would be under history or folklore. Because they don't believe in fairy tales, and the Corinne come from the forest of fairy tales. So I don't even know if that information would be in this library.
I doubt it. It's probably not even this world. Unless the witch in the swamp is a Kirin.
That would be.
I mean, the swamp the swamp that I was in, they were not. But again, I mean, if we're here just for information, it's worth looking into. I mean, all Corinnes have the ability of necromancing, so it's a possibility that the witch wasn't even alive, that it was a Corinne controlling some dead body. To keep up the image of a Baba Yaga. As another way to protect the forest.
That must be it. But we're here to protect the swamp. How do we get there?
Chrysanthemum is like, yeah, absolutely. To get to the swamp, it's quite simple. We just leave town heading to the east. It's like, I'm gonna stay here, keep myself out of it. Don't really want to head off into that swamp. And it's just like, I don't really like the water. It's bad for my skin. And it's just like, guarantee I stay dry when I'm in here, though. Nothing bad or terrible is gonna happen to my city, right?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Like, what could happen? walls are quite sturdy.
quite sturdy walls, but like it would take a tidal wave of immense size to come over the city and splash it with enough water to destroy all of our libraries and open air markets.
Couldn't happen.
I mean, that's like a 1,000-year flood, right?
It would be a situation that like the city would not be able to recover from. We'd have to turn to crime, start making contacts with Parliament.
Well, at least you have a alternate plan.
We do have the backup plan of organized crime, yes.
Well, as long as the number goes up, right?
Number goes up, but a massive tidal wave would cause number to go down, and I am not a particular fan of number go down. Number go up.
Throws the NGU sign. Is there an NGU handshake?
NGU?
Number go up.
Oh no, I do not think so. But you don't have enough hands for it.
Damn. What if I use my wings too? I got 6 that way.
Second here. Okay. What is our plan once we get into into the swamp? What are we looking for?
Fairies.
Berries and fungus, if I remember correctly.
This is one of my
In the
first
swamp.
lessons on
Weren't
riffs I
there-
learned from my father.
Weren't there roses that had eyeballs in the swamp? That their thorns, like they needed blood. Was that in the swamp?
That was not in the swamp. That was in a different spot. That was on the other side of the
Okay.
forest.
Oh, okay.
That plot hook took a direction I was not intending. But it was still good. I still liked it.
Well,
I mean, you guys have my notes on the swamp. I have no more information.
oh, well. Believe we need to find the ziggurat. Someone was hiding in there. Someone was lost. And then they
I
got
mean, we
more
also
lost,
must
but we
have
won't get
fought
to that
something.
yet.
Nope. Like, this universe, nobody cares about that kid that got lost. Seems like, at least.
Oh wow.
Was it the swamp game? Was the one where we did the whole the movie that I've never seen.
Super
With
Bowl
the horse
special?
in the mud, and there's a lot of them.
Oh, never-ending story.
Yeah, because I have horse bones and roots. But isn't that where they attacked the 3 bears that we ended up
Yeah,
going into this gruesome horror scene?
Also, the 3 bears.
Is that the
was
same?
all the same game, yeah. Sometimes we get a lot done.
But
in one
still
game.
nothing to do with what we had to do in the swamp. I have green wisps. Guys, what are green wisps?
You see wisps?
Good question.
There were green wisps in the swamp, and we followed the green wisps, and I'm pretty sure we followed the wisps to Baba Yaga's.
Can I do a magic check to see if there are green wisps in the area?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, give me 2d20.
Eight and a 10. Caught a wisp check. Just check for danger. All locations.
So a tough choice. Yeah, you can sense an interesting amount of magic coming from further into the woods instead of like you do see the ziggurats up ahead of you as well.
I'll approach this one.
Oh, so you do you're going towards the ziggurats, not the magic that you felt.
Oh, magic's further off in the woods,
Yeah,
but
magic is
the
definitely in
ziggurats
the
are-
woods.
Well, I will approach the wood line at least. That's
If
just
you
me.
Yeah, if you can go up to the wood line, you see flashes of movement out there and a pull of something very magical, or very not magical, rift. There is a tear in reality further through there. It feels muffled a little bit, I think is the word I want to use.
Just getting like kind of like tunnel vision on that feeling. I think on the like a 10, Vatna like instinctively starts trying to make a riff right next to him, but then stops. It's like nope, nope, not this time. But guys, there are rifts this way. Oh, mushrooms.
Yeah, so Vatna's staring at the tree line, like looking deep into it. He like there is a rift further through there. That is the direction that we know a rift is.
And also probably some kid up in there.
But you guys do see some ziggurats with some rather large, some pretty unique mushrooms growing at the base.
I think Patagon's gonna investigate one of the mushrooms and see what he can if it matches anything he saw in the book earlier.
You know, I definitely think it does. Like without before a roll, it definitely does. Which one are you going after? Yellow, blue, or red?
Do the yellow.
The yellow one. As you approach it, it is glowing like a light bulb that just barely has any energy. Like in the sunlight, you cannot tell that it is glowing, but when you put your shadow over it, like you can see it very softly glowing, like a potato light bulb, you know, the ones that don't light up all the way.
Low voltage.
Yeah, it's a low voltage, but it is naturally holding AP. And we don't have a version of that in our world. We have mushrooms that need to eat radiation or like ambient magic and then they become powerful. But this ate swamp and turned it into magic?
Interesting. Swamp magic. Yeah, I guess he'll attempt to take a sample because he'll definitely want to get Nicholas's opinion on this because
Is a swamp's magic? Okay, multiple questions, I suppose.
I'm here for
Does
it.
every swamp have a Baba? Does every swamp have a Baba Yaga?
Oh, we're setting some crazy precedent. We're
And
setting some strong precedent if that's the truth, but I mean, I'm here for it.
And is the magic related to the swamp in direct association to the Baba Yaga? Like, if the Baba Yaga left the swamp, so does the magic.
I am very much enjoying that idea, and you guys saved the other Baba Yaga, so we know she's not dead.
Well, we know she's not dead, but she also left the swamp because she turned into a walking Baba Yaga swamp house.
That's right. She is just fucking wandering around.
So I
Okay,
guess,
yeah.
like specifically those two questions: does every swamp have a Baba Yaga, and does the magic of the swamp only exist if the Baba Yaga is in that swamp?
Okay. I will say yes to both of these things. So yeah, you can sense it. Somewhere in this swamp there is a shamanistic / witch-like creature that is referred to as the Baba Yaga, which has some wild connotations to the fact that the boogeyman is one of the most feared things on the Echo. It's a shared nightmare. So yeah, Iskra, you feel the water like up to your hooves, or however you're walking through this.
Mm-hmm.
It has almost an electrical feel to it. Almost, you can sense the current of somebody else's magic, keeping the swamp in bounds, like keeping like the natural magic going. And that magic has nothing to do with these ziggurats, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the rift that Vatna is heading towards. Like, this is natural magic. And I think for you are having a real weird time on the liminal plane because its magic feels wholly different than the Echo. Because you're from where you're from, which is what the liminal plane became, it is close enough that it's not freaking you out.
But feeling both at the same time would.
Yeah, feel like being able to directly compare them would probably break your brain a little bit. So we got Patagon.
So if that's if that's the case, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patagon.
Oh no. If you have questions, go for it. Because I was just about to lay out where we all are.
Oh, no, it was just if that's what's currently happening to Iskra, like if she's feeling the magic from the liminal plane and experiencing that currently out there right now is also some natural magic, she would be very unsteady on her feet.
Then, yeah, you are probably really unsteady. This is magic that you are unused to. Like, this is different. Patagon's staring at light bulb mushrooms. Vatna is staring off into the void. What's Isaac doing?
Probably would have followed after Vatna due to the currently staring off into the void thing being mildly concerning. Just mildly. Because in working with Vatna, Isaac has learned he will get up to some stuff.
As soon as Isaac walks over, Vatna says, "Do you know what's in there?" This was the reference my father used on my first lesson on riffs. He told me about what tears could be created, what lies between worlds.
Isaac points towards the forest in the direction that Vatna's looking. In there.
Mm-hmm. 'cause the Kukla, not quite Kukla here. Kukla is what dines on the other side of that rift.
Care to guide us there?
Gladly.
Yeah, for sure. Are we just heading off that way then? Like, what's everybody doing?
The pull will have Vatna start walking.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Iskra and Sept, do you guys stay on what you're doing and lose them in the woods, or do you follow?
I'd say with Patagon, he's probably too busy looking at this mushroom to notice that they just wandered off. Because he's really intently trying to get a sample for Nicholas, so he's kind of like single-mindedly focused, doesn't really notice what's going on.
Absolutely.
I think I would like want to follow them and keep up with them, but because of the imbalance of magic or like the conflicting magics, wouldn't be able to keep up with them.
Absolutely. As like those two begin like walking like into the further into the forest, as Iskra's trying to catch up, you two feel a huge presence, and the jaws like type music comes up as like the water is rippling around you as the giant front of a crocodile. Wait, it's an alligator. We know it's an alligator because Port Barter's Florida. Begins opening.
To be fair, Alan. There are American crocodiles in Florida. It's the only place in the world that crocodiles and alligators coexist. So you can have either. It can.
Okay, but what would we rather say when we beat it? When we kill it and defeat this thing, do we want to say "see you later," or do we want to say "after a while"?
That's up to y'all. I just wanted you to know that you didn't have to choose.
It's a gator dial. No, this token's worse. What is this token?
Look at him.
What
is
Look,
this?
Skater.
I don't see what it's. Is this supposed to be its eye? So it's like looking that way?
Yeah. First thing I thought of was Among Us Skater, and I was like, what?
My giant crocodile / alligator tokens are not, great, but here we are. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll to see if it gets just one die for it. It does snap down.
The 15 becomes a 3.
All right, then it completely misses. Like splashing around you. Patagon, you do have enough time to grab mushrooms. If you roll me a 4-sider, we'll tell you how many you got.
Okay.
Unless you want to roll a 20-sider, then you can roll me 2 4-siders if you succeed. But if you get tough choice, it's just going to be 1 and you get bit. Or if you fail, you don't get any and you get bit.
I'll just roll the 1 because.
All right.
Hey, and we get
You
a 1.
sure did just roll the 1. I'll be right back. I gotta go.
Yeah, we got 1. One is good.
1 is better than nothing.
Are you finding? I think Patagon is just collecting primordial Loa shrooms.
Yeah, it'd be a very faintly glowing specimen and drawn to it because what he saw in the book earlier and what he had experienced down in Dendroid, he's like very fungus focused at the moment. And so it's like that blend of, well, our mission we're supposed to be doing here versus what he can still remember.
We're doing the mission.
We could certainly try as soon as it stops trying to bite us.
It has to be broadcast to
If-
Echo.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, if I cast Relieve on the gator, will it calm down enough to have a conversation and be interviewed?
You know what? Roll me 2d20. Let's fucking find out.
Roll for me, Nika!
Yeah, all right. Yeah. We like the gator like closes its mouth, like shakes its head a little bit. Isaac and Vatna, you two both could have been like not so far into it that you could just turn around, like fully prepared to have to fight this gator, like like the reports say, like your father told you.
Oh, that's where it showed up.
Like, be on the lookout for a massive gator. We're both walking, ready for a fight. We hear what's going on in the back. We turn.
I didn't think it was supposed to show up yet. It's off script.
The gator opens its mouth incredibly wide. Inside, you see a small house, like a little cabin, as a figure steps out of the mouth, and just like looks at Iskra, and it's just like, "Hello."
Hello?
You. Another Corinne fell through a rift? He hops down into the water.
I'm sorry, excuse you? Another?
Well, I was the first and only. I've been taking
Isaac,
care of
this
the
is-
swamp.
Who are you?
I am known by many names, but title-wise, I'm the Baba Yaga of this swamp. We took it back. We made it intersex.
I knew it.
We made it gender neutral, sorry.
See, Iskra, I told you.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit speechless.
He just like looks at all of you.
What?
He's just like, I figured it out. You don't belong here. Pointing to each one of you. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I messed up some. Like you said, I was early. Yeah, I guess. Okay. I sensed another Corinne. I felt like I had to get involved. I'm not in this story. It's like, I'm not in this story, am I? Look, he looks at Patagon.
I mean, that's a great question. Are any of us truly in this story at this moment?
There's only one way we can answer that question. On
He
live
sits-
broadcast.
Yeah. So with one AP, he's gonna take out his radiant magical toothbrush and get a quick clean in before he starts the interview because hey, it's been a long trip. I'll get a
He's like-
bonus.
He polishes up his bone helm. It's just like, I was like, oh, I gotta get like, oh.
Is there a
interviews.
way we can broadcast this to the Echo?
There is no way you could broadcast it to the Echo, no. But you could record it. Patagon can record things.
Yeah, he'll take out his trusty plush that is at least an audio recording, so that'll be useful for future documentation of. So you said you were a Corinne. How did you end up on Liminal?
I like, walking through the forest one night. It was a nice light rain. I was just, walking through, skipping. Then all of a sudden I saw a puddle that I'd never seen before. And you guys all know, if you see a puddle you've never seen before, you got to make sure what kind of splash effect it's gonna have. So I jumped in I thought I was gonna get a real nice just whoosh of water. And suddenly I fell through the sky and landed in this forest. And a broken leg.
So did you see any mushrooms? Not unlike the ones you kind of see in this, but maybe in a more of a circle pattern before you jumped in?
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, it's just fairy rings, fairy tales. It's I'm a true believer in magic, but I just had always assumed that was mostly a joke.
Ah, all right. Well, good. That is consistent with other reports, right? So you said you fell
It's
from
not
the sky.
consistent with a Corinne.
Well, yeah. If you have any specific questions, I mean, you're a better expert on Corinne than I.
I mean, I don't mean to interrupt your interview, but that's not something that a Corinne would say. Corinne know that yes, there is both the magic and the folklore and the fairy tales. They all go hand in hand.
Yeah, and so I learned once I got here, I had to revert back to the stuff I learned as a kid. I just thought it was all fairy tales to begin with. Yeah, we can shoot lightning. Yeah, we're kind of cool. We got some limited magic, but I didn't think I was gonna have to become a Baba Yaga of a forest. I didn't think that was real. I don't know how to make a moving house, so I just built a house inside that guy. And he points to the, gator dial.
Hey,
I mean, it does move, so points for that.
Right? I thought all I needed to do was just get a house that had legs. It has legs, I put a house in it.
does it work?
So far.
Can't say much.
Smells awful.
Can't say much. I know a lady who lives in a shoe, so.
No, you know what? Maybe I don't want to know about you guys' world. A shoe. Voluntarily.
I mean, you gotta live, so I mean, the shoe fits. But more about you. So you said that where you came from, it was more stories and everything. So everything can kind of fill in out of practice, I guess you could say.
Yeah, my grandmother told me about the living in the woods, moving houses, shooting magic. I just wanted to sit home and watch the television. They don't even have television here yet. It's they all just the weird masks, and they don't like to. You can never tell when they're telling the truth. It's just, that town is bad news.
True. They're
They're not gonna
interesting.
hear this, are they? I really don't want a witch hunt. They could burn this
Um,
forest down.
I mean, then they won't hear it from me, but I can't say that they won't hear it ever.
For the people in Port Barter, for I think they're called the Spindle. Yeah, the Spindle. I'm a terrifying creature that will destroy your homes if you threaten me.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Stay in Port Barter. Just make your number go up.
Make your number go up. I'll make your number go down. That's Paul.
Can you make tidal waves?
You would have to really collapse into the water to make a tidal wave. It feels
Like
like
a big belly flop?
Yeah, I would have to do like a big belly flop. That would be a very insensitive, very dangerous practice. We probably shouldn't do that. Not if we're trying not to make enemies of Point Barter.
Mm-hmm.
It would also probably hurt him a little bit from doing a flop that hard.
Well, you just want to keep him a happy guy.
Oh, he's quite happy. I think I've managed to convince him through no small means that he thrives on photosynthesis.
Wow. Gator synthesis?
He doesn't absorb other gators, he absorbs light. Did your world not have photographs yet? I'm sorry. Photo means light.
Ah, yes. Well, so I guess since you're here in the swamp, have you noticed any particular other fairy rings by chance?
Yeah, the one by that big ass tree.
Okay, so they were going in the right direction. That's good
Yeah,
to know.
if they were looking for the big ass tree, it's there. Look out, it's full, like, you guys all got masks? Do any of you have teeth?
Oh, I have what could be considered teeth.
That was the worst sentence I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean by that?
just smiles and
He does not smile back. He is just like, mm-hmm.
yeah. I get that reaction a lot. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Does anyone have any other questions for, you said your name was Paul, was it?
His name is Paul. My name is Ul.
Ooh, oh, okay, sorry. Well, Ooh.
Why wouldn't you go back through the rift? Why stay?
It was terrifying. Like, so when I fell from the sky, I broke my leg and was not able to climb or jump exactly where it was. By the time I managed to recover and build a ladder to the exact spot I fell through, the rift was not, whatever it was, the portal that delivered me here was not there.
Is there only the echo and the liminal?
As far as okay. So this is a wild thing. So what you are in right now is not actually the past, but close enough. This is the story of the past, and it is being made, the vault is making it around you. So you are not actually in the past. The vault is like doing its best guesstimation of what people would say if you ran into them. And by the vault,
Right.
it's played by Alan. But that said, this could have happened.
I'm just trying to think of what question that I wanted to ask next.
Yeah, absolutely. Do the other three, and just fun question, do any of you remember why this rift isn't working? Why he can't go back through that spot? Because you could fix it for him if you remember how to.
Let's see if I remember correctly. They're running. Was it that they were running out of teeth to go through the portal?
Nope, the teeth were doing fine. They're fine with the amount of teeth. Well, they're getting less and less because people are covering up their mouths. And therefore the Kuklit's not like giving them the magic crystals anymore because they're not giving them enough teeth.
I think maybe the word tree wasn't healthy.
So, disconnected. He's talking about a different rift. He's talking about a rift in the sky.
Yep.
Like, he's not talking about the tree one that we're, like, going towards.
Yeah.
There's a
different
rift in the sky that he fell through, but wasn't there when he went back.
Oh, probably because the cloud moved.
Because
Rifts-
the cloud moved.
Yeah. Well, rifts can only form in water. Everyone knows that. I say out loud.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, we had reports of one being in fog once, I believe, as well, which is just scary in its own right.
He's just like, just fog? Just any fog?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the authority on it. I'm just trying to remember from the reports, but it seemed to be pretty much anywhere there was enough water-like substance.
I learned how to make them.
Yeah, so that would know. Vatna would know.
But Alan, what you just said about it not actually being the past, do we know that?
Based on the fact that things are happening differently, yeah, you guys would be able to know that it's not the actual past. Especially because we already have a party that has done this.
Sure.
You guys see him like get on top of Pa and like raises his staff and begins summoning a thick layer of like swamp fog. It is just rolling in from the distance, making it almost impossible to see anything in this area.
Ah, that's the fear.
Are you making a rift? Do you need help?
I am attempting to put water in this spot. If there is a rift here, like you said, then it'll be here.
Oh, I'll just see what happens then. You got this. I believe in you.
With an 18.
I have questions while you do that.
Go for
Oh,
it. I'm
no,
gonna
go
keep
ahead.
spinning my staff in a shamanistic way. Ask your questions. I'm going to guess that. What?
But why don't I know you? Like, why don't I recognize you if we're from the same place and you don't recognize me? We should, like, there's not that many of us. We should know each other.
Isaac, this would be the time that you would know what's actually going on. This guy is from the world that when it crashed into the liminal plane, it created the Corinnes that Iskra is. This is a creature before Iskra's people, a progenitor, if you will.
Mm. That's some tough news to break.
Those are words I don't like you saying.
Before, you're both Corinne, but he's from a world before Echo had ever formed. So that's what.
So, okay. What, then who's the real Corinne?
The real Corinne is the friends we made along the way.
God damn you for that.
I mean, yes.
I mean, the answer is yes. They're both real. Just he's just before your time. Basically.
We're all real. I'm the expert on real.
Ool just kind of like looks directly at the camera. It's like, what? Not real. And there's a very solid chance we all just might be figments of somebody else's imaginations, imagining up a different world and then set on multiple different worlds, and we're just believing that is reality because it's better than, you know, not. As he calls him the like, as he like keeps churning his stick and like as like staff. So, any more questions as it gets closer and closer to where the rift is?
Do you know where you're going?
No, but it might be home.
Is Paul going too?
No, absolutely not. I couldn't have this thing back in my home. Are you, like, I have a normal ass living room. It's like I've got cable. I can't wait to sit back in my beanbag chair.
I got notes down. Cable. That's an interesting word.
Yeah, cable. It's like television. Do you guys have television in your world? I don't know yet, but like it's like television with a bunch of channels, and sometimes you see boobs.
Oh,
I don't want to
That's
be a
like-
swamp witch anymore.
Doesn't sound like a right fit. Guys, I think that rift is getting worse.
yeah. We might need to go take a look. He says, very apprehensive of the fog and the growing rift.
He reaches out and he's like, oh, one moment. And he climbs back into Paul's mouth and pulls out a bag. And he's just like, here, I know we didn't know each other long, but you showed me how to get home. He hands, there are 4 items, and I will let you guys choose which one you guys want in which order. One of them looks like a bone. It's a magic wand that is made of somebody's, their forearm bone with a hand still attached to it pointing forward. And it's like, there is no way to mask what this is. That looks like, if not a human bone, close enough. Maybe a spindle bone. It is a creature's arm, and it doesn't. It's not actually pointing. It's actually looks like it's trying to grab something. Like it is in. You guys know those toy grabby hands? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm?
it's one of those, just made out of bone. He's like, this might come in handy. It was real handy when I was, I wish I had it when I was fixing my leg. This is the bone binder. As long as something is unconscious, like I learned this little trick from the fairies. Use this, you can reach right into them, pull out and remove or put in any extra bone that you want. They'll never feel it. They have no idea it's happening. They just have to be fully unconscious. Be careful. If you take out their skull, it does make a mess.
Do they have to be organic?
It has to be bone. Yes. It has to, like, I don't think it'd work on your leg. And he tries it on Patagon's leg, and it does not.
Good to know.
It's like clang, clang, clang. It's just like, and then he has a coin, and he flips the coin, and it lands on heads, and he flips the coin, and it lands on heads, and he flips the coin, and it lands on heads. It's just like this, like, one of those spindles tricked me. But it is quite a valuable item. It's like, this is the coin of unyielding trade. The coin can be used to purchase anything for sale. It is valued more than its face price. This coin is worth more than whatever you see on sale. After 24 hours, the coin reverts back to being only this item. It's not worth anything after 24 hours, and the person that you did it knows they've been duped. It will always also land on heads. It only works on items that are openly for sale. There's a talisman that looks like it looks exactly like Paul's snoot right here. It looks exactly like this image. Like spot on. That is what it is. It's about the size of like Flavor Flav's fucking clocks, but that is what it looks like on it. You put that on, you turn into a were-crocodile. Like for 1 hour, you'll be a were-crocodile. All your base attacks go up to 4 damage. You are able to breathe underwater. The transformation is painful, but once it is done, it's temporary. It's fine. You will rip out of your clothes. Please set them to the side. This ability cannot, and it only come up in the Echo, but it cannot be used under the Echo's moonlight. If you're using it at night, you have to stay in the shade, or else it will revert back. And the last one is just one of the Spindle's masks. It's just sitting there, and he's just like, I've never gotten a feel on these things. Vatna and Iskra, you do not sense magic from the mask. If you wear this mask, nobody can tell if you're telling the truth or a lie. And nobody can tell if you are under a magical influence. Nobody can tell if you are using magic. They can see the effects of it. You can use it, but these masks prevent anybody from knowing your intentions.
I want the mask.
Yeah, those are the 4 items. I can drop them in the chat for you guys to decide later if you don't plan on using them today. But let's get you guys to. Oh, sorry. Ul jumps. He just jumps at the top of it, and like you guys see his like legs disappear in a portal up, and then they start coming back down through, and then scrabble, and then disappear again.
Goodbye.
Have a good time with your cable.
Hey
Well,
Paul,
that
how
was
you doing?
something.
This crocodile's just kind of like looking around. Gatordile. Actually, I don't know which way is up with this thing. Neither side looks particularly up-like. This thing is just like looking around, lays down, and just wait. It starts to submerge because this creature has no problem with it. Like it is soft mud under your feet, but he can sink right into it like it's not even there.
Sounds like he's just fine where he is.
Yeah.
No hops or flops today.
I guess we do have a lead that our rift of note is that direction.
I can
Yeah,
feel it getting bigger. For closer, I mean.
And there it is. It's not like saying it's a big tree to you all is ridiculous, as you have seen trees the size of planets. You have seen trees with many homes in it. This is just a normal big tree. Like it is surrounded by mushrooms. It looks like the tree is quivering. That's how many fairies are in it. They are looking out at you. Some of them are attempting to hide, but they are not, like, very good at it. Some of them have what you might call weapons aimed at you.
Hi. We're not here for your teeth.
Perfect.
Well, you couldn't have them if you were. How can we help you? Port barter's that way, and they all point different directions.
Oh,
Tree
what do
that
you
you
know
sit
about
in.
rifts?
Rifts? Oh. Just no, you don't have to worry about rifts. Iskra, you see the tree upon a little bit closer investigation has water pouring out of it. Like constantly. The water you guys are standing in is much cleaner than the rest of the swamp's water. It's also much warmer, as though it's like a hot spring, but you don't see any signs of a natural occurring hot spring. And they're just like, no rifts, nothing. Like, somebody, what if somebody told you? What do you know?
That wasn't the question.
Change the question. We ask the questions now.
I can smell it.
It's like they all angrily stare at Vatna. It's like the enemy.
Just whistles innocently.
He's one of the enemies. Fun question. It's another question. Hi. Nice to meet you. My name's 13. Just quick question for you. Are you a moth that's going to eat the fabric of reality and that we've been warned of?
I'm gonna put on the mask and say no.
He wears the liar's mask, though. He does wear the liar's mask. Can't trust a liar.
I take it off and say, I'm not wearing a liar's mask.
And she's like, what brings
Are
you to this
you-
forest? Oh, go ahead.
No, are you the fairies who are afraid of answering questions and also don't want their teeth eaten, but don't realize that this Corinne knows Ashenmon has made a deal with them that all I have to do is call his name and he will come find your tree? Unless you wanted to start answering some questions.
With the Fae, would they know that in the future that's who they're going to become? They live strange lives. It's just like, I like this this way of interrogation or intimidation to threaten them with their future. I think that's funny. But how do we?
But
I'm just like, how do we get there?
Would
I
they
mean,
know about their own future? You're saying that they do know about their own futures?
I think the Fae and the Kukla all are aware of what was going to happen even back then.
Okay. So you would say they would be trying to hide that information?
Or like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's just like, oh, spoilers!
All right. So Patagon's going to activate his questionful quill that will help write a leading question to help reveal a secret in this conversation. So he's going to hand it over to Iskra and be like, well, here you go. Give this a try. Might help you get a question and make them answer it.
well, there's that, but also, Alan, if you're like threatening them with their future, and I know and have had a conversation with a specific one of them, and I know their name, can't I just call them out of the tree and like provoke them? Would that work?
I think this is the exact. I'm trying to make a face with the fairies on the tree. I'm sorry, I got really stuck in that one. So I honestly think that this is right up the alley of all four of you, though. Like, with Patagon giving that thing, you knowing the information, Isaac had just refilled his reality-altering pen, and the fact that Vatna is just Vatna could really, like...
In fact, I actually got an ability for this if I wanted to use it, called Fate's Needle. Just gives me information about secrets and stuff in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Isaac, how would you, like, what would you be doing to help Iskra, like, set this reality, to make it real?
Mm. Hmm. It's something that would likely need to be changed.
I got an idea for Vatna while you're thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
So instead of like using Fate's Needle ability, I could just be like taunting them with the needle, like to back up Iskra's claims, like kind of like showing them the barrel of a gun, or showing them the gun, but not putting it into use just yet.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. What do you got? Isaac, you got anything? Or, you could honestly just write the thing's name. Like, it shouldn't have that name yet. But
Yeah.
if you, yeah, you could give whichever number is Ashenmaw in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be it.
Okay, so everybody, Patagon, Isaac, and Vatna, can you each roll me 2d20, and we're treating this kind of like a ponder the orb. She's gonna have whichever one of, like, your highest one that she wants to pick from, as well as I'll make a roll for her. Okay, so we got a 19 and a 13. And a 5 and a 4. Okay. And Nika's in the restroom. Let me roll this real fast. And an 8. Alright, so 19's the highest. Iskra. So absolutely, you can call out Ashenmaw, and he will be in this. Like, he will be in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, he comes down, and just like, spoilers, that's not my name yet. I'm supposed to be 6.
Sounds like we both know more than we're supposed to.
It feels like we both know more than we're supposed to. It's like, what are you guys doing? You're not you until the echo. It, like, looks across all of you. It's just like, we're not real, are we?
Well, what is real?
Real enough.
We're a story being told right now, aren't we?
Very much so, yes.
Knew it. I knew something felt wrong when I woke up today.
But we still do need to fix this rift, so.
Of course. It's just like, alright, step over the mushrooms. You all know rift control pretty well, right?
I've had some practice, but I'm sure Vatman is more versed than most.
Oh, it's always hit or miss in the field, but yes. Just boop.
It's like,
Run my hand along the bark of the word tree.
it is very... Oh. I think it like the stories in it feel artificial, Vatna. Like it is the movie version of of the book, you know? It is the toned down version. It is the less exciting, less powerful.
But
Because
it's
it is just people guessing at how strong it was.
A lot of rough drafts with no endings.
still a story
Chat
that wants to be
tree
told.
is the correct
Oh
way
God.
to say
Oh
that.
my
That is
God.
like you were so close, Flynn, but ChatGB tree is like
It's still a story that wants to be told.
I feel like it's grating a little bit. Actually, you tell me if it's grating or not. Like this version of the story involves you. You weren't here originally, but this version involves you. This version also doesn't involve you all flooding a city. Like, it involves you all going to a library, getting some useful information, grabbing mushrooms, and heading home. After, like, casually sealing up this rift, helping somebody along the way, everything is fine, everything is happy. Is this the version that is remembered? Like, when people tell stories about this, do they tell of Sama and Tobias and June? And, like, Officer June and Korzepa coming to this swamp and accidentally flooding the world for them and killing a lot of people, let's be clear. A lot of bad things happened in that game. Or is it remembered as Patagon, Isaac, Vatna, and Iskra showed up, despite the fact that the timeline doesn't really, like, make sense? Came here, helped a lot of people out, sealed up the rift, and then just had a glorious day. Because I'm fine with
Before-
either one, honestly.
Before I answer, I ask Iskra. Iskra, do you want to be in a story?
I'm questioning reality at this point, and my initial reaction is to say yes. But if I am questioning reality at this point and what part I play in it, I don't know how much power I would have in altering somebody else's version of what happened.
Alright, to, like, cards on the table from, like, GM perspective. What you are doing is not changing what actually happened. Everybody's gonna have the memories of that, when that happened, all of that stuff. But
It's just this is what they remember.
This is the story that is passed throughout the Echo. This is, like, when people think of it, they think the crew did this great. Yeah, you're telling the story for the Echo. You are, like, liminal, it happened and it broke bad. But this is a second shot. This time, what if we don't fly through the hallway between worlds and puncture a hole in it and let the red caps through that way? What if we don't cut down this juvenile, like, word tree?
Well, that happened after.
So the task assigned months ago of rebuilding Lockstitch's reputation, this would help.
It definitely would, like, cut into some of the negativity. Like, this is definitely one of the old stories that gets told. It's just like, yeah, it's like, even when they don't burn down a library, they flood it. Because they did. Like, this was the first library they actually, like, destroyed.
So it became tradition. I'm gonna say yes. I think this is the story that's remembered. And I think how the story was found. Can we say how the story was found? It was, like, in one of the basements libraries that was uncovered.
When the liminal smashes together with everything, there will be recordings of it. like the old books that say Lockstitch in them in the folk song library will be full of the text. But yeah, what's your idea?
I was just thinking, like, since it doesn't actually change history, and the libraries were flooded, like maybe this story, how it's told now, was found in one of the flooded libraries.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. It's like it's only gonna like hurt your head, Pat. Like, but Patagon is used to having 1,000 different memories in his brain, so it's probably gonna be fine. As
Yeah.
Vatna is not a conscious being yet, and like Isaac is probably gonna get a headache from it of thinking where you were that day. You will remember 2 different places. Like you can remember the scene of you being on the sub when it started to sink. But also, you were just having a fun day out with like some good friends getting threatened by fairies.
Any encounter with a fairy where you leave with all your teeth is a good one. Yeah, I think especially after the stories and how it's kind of worked with the ones that Simmons found, Patagon's fine, making this. I mean, it's technically a lie, but it makes few people feel better. So,
Right? Like to be remembered in a more generous light. So yeah, I mean,
Slaps the bark. This baby can hold so many stories in it.
so yeah, the tree gets sealed up. And you just like sewing the rift closed, right?
Is that what we're doing?
yeah, I mean, as long as we're doing it right.
Right, but remember that sealed off the access that the Coup Claw got. Like it cut off the supply of teeth, so it was weakened for the fight that it was about to partake in. I think it was actually fighting moths or redcaps. I don't know which.
It fights a red cap queen, but it does survive.
So leaving the rift open will continue to harm the tree. Is that right?
Leaving the rift open will continue to harm the tree, and they will continue to pull teeth out of the mouths of
Really, whoever.
Gotcha. So I think if we steal the rift correctly on both sides, then it won't alert the redcap queen and flood the other side. Is that right?
One of the fairies just like comes down next to your ear. It's just like, yeah, but we gotta leave that there for plot purposes. Like the future has to happen. If you want your friends to have their cool abilities, like you gotta let it like at least stay a little bit. History is history.
Yes, but I do like fucking with it. Fine, I'll leave it.
Like, we're not real anyway.
Just leave a little tear.
Just on the other side.
Someone check my work.
Oh, I'll check your work.
Yeah, all right, absolutely. Iskra, you go up to the tree and you just see story after story after story in this tree. This is Iskra's first time like coming up to a legitimate word tree. This is a juvenile version of it, but the crew talks about them. Not legitimate word tree, because there is a real word tree there are two word trees in the Silver Thimble, but this is like a naturally growing one, and you can see all over the bark and on the leaves. You can start making out. It is tallying up what everything in the swamp is doing. Like there's a tiny leaf, and you can tell that it's for a tadpole that just hatched, and it is just narrating its life. But that's what word trees are. Like, some word trees gather their information by whatever is written down, like the way that a history would be. This is not the word tree of the history of the sentient beings in the swamp. This word tree is the history of all of the animals and all of the plants in this swamp. And you do see Ul's thing is like it begins with him falling out of the sky and breaking his leg, and then it's just a very long that leaf breaks off and falls to the ground, as Ul is no longer in this world and cannot be tracked by it anymore. So yeah, Iskra, you can have the history of Ul, like the Corinne from the liminal plane. Some regard it
By
as a
taking that
prophet.
leaf?
By taking the leaf, yeah. It's a big leaf too.
Vatna's thinking out loud. Now, since this is technically still the liminal, I don't think that counts as bringing stories in from other worlds. I think you're fine.
Yeah, that might be a problem for
And
future us.
And if we feel tension, we know it was the wrong choice.
well, seeing as how it feels like it directly impacts me and how I choose to move forward and my people, I'm going to take it. And as far as Vatna's work, am I able to tell?
If it's gonna cause problems, no, I don't think it will. I think we're right. This is just information that we could have gotten, and yeah, you will be able to like have this leaf that will be, when we go back, this will be the first piece of teal magic that we've seen in a minute. Liminal is teal magic, whereas the echo is orange.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we're gonna start seeing a spread of the silver magic, actually, is like begins to grow further.
That's the good stuff.
The good stuff, is it like, so Iskra, I will like fully like gun to head situation. You have the chance of influencing your people fully. We are gonna have to talk about what their past was and how they got to where they are. But we could design like
Okay.
more of the Corinnes, like what are they up to? What do they do on a day-to-day vibe? It's always a fun thing for me to do.
Okay.
We just did it with the Tingers, and I fucking thought it was great.
Okay.
Put the Corinnes more as, like,
And then...
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, give them more of a background, not just like one one Karen walking around with the crew every once in a while, but I know they're secretive and I know they want to stay in their forest, so it's not like they're going to be everywhere. But we can explore their background, their past.
Well, and the one that breaks off every 300 years or so.
The one that breaks off every 300 years or so to like see the world. Join up with a spy.
Or fall through a rift.
Or fall through a rift. That just happens. Don't go splashing in mud puddles. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
But this rift is properly sealed.
This rift is properly sealed.
While I was sealing it, could I have left an ethereal quilt on the other side? Just so there might not be any hard feelings. Sorry about your teeth, but here's this.
Yeah, for sure, that's fine. And yeah, all the mushrooms begin like lighting up as like they begin glowing bright orange, and you all just pop right back out of the pipe that you were trying to get into in the first place. And it's just like, it's locked.
I didn't do it.
No, I mean obviously, you were right here. I was just telling you it was locked. The wardens don't let just anybody wander their tunnels.
Do you see any valves by any chance?
Oh no, this is just the disposal section. We don't have the valves here. Or the valves weren't put in here. They were mostly put under... You hear fingers snapping, but no fingers. It's just like... They put them under what they called ley lines.
Okay. I just had a very interesting dream with a door similar to this with a valve, so I just had to check.
Me too. I was the valve.
How massive is Isaac's headache right now?
It depends on what you're trying to think of.
I think just having the experience that he just had and then suddenly being back where he is.
Yeah, it's a headache. Because we didn't actually get to see him when we put the original Kukla on the screen, so we can see what he was before what he is.
Hi.
So sparkle.
Wish there was time for that conversation.
The conversation of what he was, that...
No, of Vatna talking to him back then. Because Kukla eat moth.
Which is why they all do not trust you.
Yep.
So yeah, like... Anyway, you can see that this is the waste disposal. We have it under control. Any excess magic that gets somehow contaminated or tainted comes to the Bleeding Mountains, and we handle it here in the pools. It'll eventually go down into the mountain, and once it is pure magic, able to be used, it will be bled out through the sides. The maintenance hatch is not moving for you, Vatna.
I keep trying to pull on it. Just.
Were there any other worries that you might have about... Or any other concerns you would have over the weir and the magic waking up before we send you home?
Pian saw there was a second target, right? Second mention?
Oh, that was his body and his shape. Like, his body was the one standing still, and the liquid thing was both this pool and him.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, more magic, yes or no?
For me? Us, like, us guardians, like me, Tatzel, the strange one under the liminal, like, we wanted everything to go back how it was. And she's like, are you saying that you might not? You would all help, of course. So yes, it'll be slightly dangerous. And yes, the middle level, I'm sure, was installed as a failsafe to protect, like, those who could not protect themselves. Yes, of course. But all we need to do is teach people. Lydian, I meant Lydian, not liminal. All we need to do is teach people how to survive. If only there was a school, like a college. Like
Well, Lockstitch Academy is accepting applicants.
Yes. Train the world up to prepare themselves. And also, prepare yourselves.
Can I play a loose lips card?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I ask. Well, our next destination is in fact the middle level. How do we get there?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The middle level.
It's like, if everyone is set to the middle, it'll lock the world as this. No more, no less. Nobody else will wake up. It's just like the magic as is now. That is how you do it. You just leave it alone. It's like it's not as dark as, say, removing the magic, but it does take a certain spark out of the sky.
Well. And where's the... And spread out across all the valves?
Mm-hmm. All of them have 3 settings. Off, middle, yes.
Well, as the Spindles like to say, number go up.
Number go up. Nobody like number go down. And yeah, unless anybody has any last minute questions, I think that is before you all start on a fucking nightmare of a walk back. You guys don't have to like roll for the walk back or anything. It's just, long and annoying. Isaac?
Can I teleport us?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I don't care. Like, it's like the trip back is meaningless to me. But Isaac, you do have a book not even a book. It's just a folded piece of paper of an ominous moon staring at you. The paper itself is quite cold. Patagon, you do have one of these light up mushrooms. It does appear that you might be able to cultivate it. Get it to the greenhouse, get it to Nicholas, however it is that you want to propagate it. But you do only have one shot at it.
Yeah, no, he would definitely put it in Nicholas's care and with the hope that he could use it for and see what he could get out of it at least. Or...
Gotta build a mushroom house now. Iskra, when you return here, you feel your normal magic again. Like, everything is actually right, but you cannot shake the memory of Ul, the other Corinne. but I will also put these magical items in the workshop. Vatna called the mask.
And
The rest are up in there. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
and then the history as well that we didn't get yet.
Oh,
The
yeah.
1,000 years ago at Port Sparta.
Hmm. I think that is going to, like, and not even I think, that is definitely going to pay off in a future game. Consonant became Port Barter for like. Move this. Whoop. Port Barter became Consonant. So some of the Spindle's history is going to be recreated into Consonant. Oh, did I move the map or did I not? Nope, I didn't. Here we
There
go.
you go.
My bad.
There we go.
Consonant.
How much is gonna change since the Baba left?
Well, you guys killed that crocodile at the same time last time, so other than a massive flood, there's there's still reason people aren't gonna go out there. So, I mean, we're gonna have to figure that out. Not a ton, because again, it's not real history, but it is something.
It's echo history.
It is how the Echo is going to remember this. Consonant being Florida was because Port Barter was Florida. And yeah, recapped screen. Patagon was sent out to interview the Kukla, who has burst out of his shell, which we can get into, like, talking about what's up with the shell at some point for sure. But he has become who the creature is supposed to be. It's supposed to be out of that, not like that is almost a chrysalis, almost a larval stage. Like, it is holding back his magic so he can keep it going. But now doesn't have to. It can just fucking exist. It is a giant serpentine, almost dragon, almost Quetzalcoatl. Like, that you can just look up and see it once in a while. Apparently, it's on speaking terms with the Tetzelworm. So,
And the
that's
thing that lives under the echo.
and the thing that lives under Lydian specifically. Which we did meet him. He is also a serpent that loves to dance.
Oh, that's who it was referencing.
Yes. The Echo is waking up, and he will speak for all of the Guardians, all the Guardian spirits, wants it to. I'm not trying to make every single NPC we run into being the ones that are like, yeah, fuck it up, like extra energy. Just most of them do. Like, most of the world. If you told me our world at one point in time had magic and that we could throw fireballs around, but the reason that we don't is because somebody 1,000 years ago turned it off, I don't care how dangerous the world would get,
Turn that shit back on.
I turn that shit back on.
I want fireballs.
But I want fireballs. And even if it's not
I
fireballs,
want mage hand.
it's like, right? I would absolutely love just prestidigitation. Just like, wonk. I'm like, all right, that's enough. I just want a world where magic exists.
The
If a
amount,
goblin, go ahead.
the amount I would get away with just mending, I'd have so much broken stuff and just be like, cool, I'm fixing everything and getting paid for it. Thanks.
Right? It's just like, if a goblin shows up, kill the goblin, level up, you know? Now if a goblin shows up, it's just like, you vote for him, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. I'm not, like, there are absolutely some negative sides to turning magic back on. It does make the world wholesale more dangerous. in a way, but more in general. Not like dangerous is the wrong word, because the thing that would be dangerous, you're more too. Everybody's more.
Everything is more.
Number go up.
Magic go up. MGU.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us last minute, Patagon. It's like, Sep, sorry, like,
Not a problem.
we already had you, so I just like grab you. And thank you so much, Molly, for playing through your phone. Like, you guys' dedication to just playing the game is heartwarming, honestly.
It was
I
lots of
always
fun.
like it when you're in a game with us.
You guys all did great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be chasing you with that moon forever, Isaac, just so you know, because like, you
Oh
wrote
no,
it
that's
out of
fair.
history, but I like it. I like a creepy cryptid that's just a fucking moon.
So as it stands, Isaac is being followed by two things: a giant bird and a moon.
You know, you got a fan club.
Don't forget the moth. Oh, I said too much.
The moon and the how does the moon and a giant bird team up? That is like a just a moon comes riding the like King Charlie into battle.
I was about to say no, it doesn't work because King Charlie has a weakness to ice, but no, he has his crown. His lightning makes him basically immune now.
Charlie's a riot. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for playing. Thanks for showing up when we started a little bit later. But yeah, that was the game, everybody. Say goodbye forever.
Bye.
Bye forever.
Bye forever.